Hey, welcome to day 6 of 21 Days of Presence. I'm Adrienne Elise. So Saturn is officially now not in retrograde anymore. It will take a little minute for it to actually start moving from this stationing place. But this means that Mercury and Mars and Saturn, all our action planets, are direct. And so what this is, the feeling of this is that some energy is coming back to us. So today we're going to talk about vitality. We're going to talk about our energetic field and how we can nourish and support our energetic field in these times, our life force that keeps us healthy, keeps us having energy to do what we want to do. So we're also coming up into some aspects heading up into this Virgo new moon. The sun is coming into its opposition with Neptune in Pisces. And so for this new moon, the sun and the moon will still be in a opposition with Neptune. So it's a lot of energy pulling here in this axis of Pisces and Virgo. And Neptune and Pisces, at home in Pisces, being highlighted here. You know, the sun and the moon are our lights and our reflection, and who we think we are and how we feel. And Neptune is our spiritual connection. It's our connection to something greater. And often when you have this transit in your chart or it's happening in the sky, what Neptune's almost like trying to elicit out of us, pull out of us a spiritual connection, our spiritual self, the part of ourselves that feels like there's something greater. And so we are having an opportunity to connect on a bigger way. Now, Neptune also rules our fantasies, our delusions, and our confusion around our spiritual connection. And so there's a lot coming up right now around truth and fantasy. And so the way this is affecting us, especially now that these planets are direct and they're moving forward, and I'm not sure how your day yesterday went, but I felt like I was in the middle of a whole bunch of Mercury retrograde energy with technology issues and glitchy things going on. And so I'm thinking that this Saturn, because all these planets were retrograde together, all three of our action planets, even though Mercury has gone direct, it's come out of its shadow now. It was like we were stuck in this place of Mercury retrograde since like May, the feeling that goes along with that because of all these action planets. And so now we have to deal with the forward motion. And so this is at the same time the energy is coming back, but it's also can be an exhausting time because a lot of things are starting to happen in our psyche, and a lot of things are going on other levels of our psyche. It's kind of like we've been on hold, we've been in stasis, we've been waiting, and now it's happening. So it's a really important time that's the point of this 21 days of presence, to ground out, be present, and be ready to hit the ground running as these new energies come in to our life. And so self-care is so incredibly important right now. And a lot of people have been really exhausted, and they maybe felt tired through the retrogrades, but then as the planets went direct, even more exhaustion. So the energy of today is around kind of taking a moment to tune in to our energy field, to our life force, the part of ourselves that keeps us going throughout the day. This is an invisible part of ourselves. It's a part of ourselves that it stays with our body when we go to sleep. So when we go to sleep, our soul or our astral body, our emotional body, go out and journey or dream and all that. But our life force stays with our body. And when our life force runs out, that's when our life is over at the end of our life. So we kind of use life force as our energy kind of battery that we have to keep us running. And the energies that are going on right now with the psychic work that's happening on other levels that is invisible as well, is really draining the etheric life force for people. And so there's this feeling of exhaustion on a soul level. And this goes also with the whole Lightworker Indigo Soul thing, who around just being stuck in this karmic loop of maybe being killed early in your life, in a lifetime, and then jumping right back into a body and not having that regenerative time in back with source energy before coming into your next incarnation. And so this is kind of like, light workers are kind of like, oh, it's like they don't know why, you know, this soul level tiredness is going on. But it's kind of like a lot of these souls feel like they're under the rope and they can't go on with this anymore. And that's actually a good thing, you know, and that's a lot of what the astrology is saying right now. It's like, yeah, you can't go on in this. And so can we regenerate, go back to source in this life, right here, right now, so that we can really be present for the life we're getting ready to live? And this is a message that's been coming through a lot of sessions, people who have lived a whole life to undo, you know, maybe all of their lives in this earth evolution, to be able to start living on earth, because light workers have been targeted in this massive level and throughout lifetimes. And so they feel, you know, that's that energy of coming back right away in the next life, and this warrior energy and bringing the light and making it happen here on the earth plane. And it's exhausting. And so this Neptune opposite the sun and moon is kind of extracting out this kind of bigger picture, the spiritual connection, and giving us an opportunity to recharge on a deep level. Now, new moons are always low energy times. It's the beginning of the next cycle, and it's the death process, and it's starting a new chapter. That's why this new moon is so potent, because we're literally at this place, and a lot of souls are at this place of starting a new chapter, starting a new life in this life. That has to do with calling parts of your soul home that have been stuck in traumatic experiences from past lives, maybe stuck in childhood from traumatic experiences you experienced, and being like claiming your autonomy and coming home and being whole and complete and ready to actually operate on full cylinders in this experience. So just know that there's so much going on this other levels that we don't have access to in our consciousness, and it's exhausting. And a lot of people are feeling that soul exhaustion from lifetimes and kind of wondering what's going on. And that's because the patterns are changing and the energies are changing, and we are preparing for this new energy that's trying to come in. But in the meantime, it's really important to take care of yourself. So the things that I found that are really helpful to refuel the etheric body is, of course, rest and sleep. And even if sleep is an issue, sometimes people with all this activity going on in the astral plane, but just letting your body rest, you know, letting your mind rest, laying down, even if you don't sleep. And this can be really important. A lot of people feel like, oh, I'm lazy, you know, and it's like, no, maybe you're doing a bunch of work on other levels, and just let yourself lay down. Our world is so busy for those of us who are aware of energies right now, because we have got massive chaos going on in all levels. And there is, you know, we're bombarded with all this technology, energy, and microwave frequencies, and cell phone transmissions, and Wi-Fi. And it's like our bodies are just being constantly bombarded. And so all of this is draining our etheric forces. And so nature is another thing that's really, really helpful. And this doesn't have to be, you know, it's beautiful to be able to go to the woods and be completely away, of course, and be in nature. But if you can find one plant or one tree that you can connect with, and it doesn't mean like, I mean, you can talk to it if you want to. There's a consciousness in plants that is on some level aware, not the same type of consciousness as us, but they have things to teach us. But just being present and aware and breathing with the nature and imagining that it's resetting this life force, this vitality. Now, our life force is what keeps equilibrium in our body. And so our life force is what adjusts when things are wacky. And that's why we're all so tired right now, because we're going through so much. And so when we have symptoms like of illness, that's our vital force, our etheric body, our life force, trying to make it right, like trying to bring it back into balance. And so with this Mars, when Mars went direct, a lot of people had physical expressions of their illnesses, which is good because you want to find it and get it out and let it express so that it can be resolved and healed and whatever you need to do. But this vital force is all about equilibrium. And of course, if we can hold equilibrium in our field, in our emotional body, and that's a big thing that can refuel our etheric body. Just like we do in these meditations, set aside. We all have so much to worry about. We have so much to do right now. And it's just like, if we can just set it aside though for 5 minutes and reset our etheric body. The other thing that's really powerful for our life force is when your will is engaged in something you really love. And so these are the things that if you have an activity or a hobby or a talent or project that you're working on, and your will is like really engaged in it, you're really excited about it, and that actually feeds our life force. And so also, of course, it's always important to drink lots of water and just allow for that time to be quiet. And even that 5 minutes can make a huge difference. And so that's what we've been doing. If you have missed the other sessions of these 21 days of presence, go back and get them if you can, because what we're doing is we're building an etheric field. We're building our life force, or that's like a field it's our life force and our astral body, our emotional aura, basically. And that's easier we're using our collective energy and our presence day to day throughout this 21-day period as we move into the next season on the planet, into the next chapter, into the next age, and building this field around us that's easy to come back to in a moment as you're going through your day, and have that refueling, have that time where you've built this field and you can imagine whatever vision works for you of the imagery that's come up in these meditations. And you can kind of just go back there and feel yourself back in the lotus, or back in whatever image comes to mind as we, whatever really sticks with you from the images of these meditations. And that way you can easily access, this peace and this regenerative moment. So let's go ahead and see what comes today. So go ahead and just feel yourself arrive, taking a few deep breaths, paying attention to the base of your spine. Go ahead and invite communication with Mother Earth. Just kind of feel your whole body relax and release. This, in a nutshell, is what we're all trying to do right now, is just come home to planet Earth, bring all the pieces of ourselves home so that we can fully operate this Earth machinery, except for that there's a whole bunch of fear programming around it, and that often resides in the area of our root chakra. So each day that we do this, we're making this easier and stronger and more effective, and especially with the collective energy, creating not just our own field and grid, but a grid of peace and presence for our whole soul group and for the planet. So go ahead and just imagine that you're just putting down this root system into Mother Earth, and you're just sinking into Mother Earth, and just let your whole body just relax and release. The root chakra is about fight or flight. It's about being ready when disaster strikes. But we're all in a heightened state of this right now because of what's going on the astral plane and on other dimensions, and the psychic war that's happening. And we know we've already won this war, but fear energies are how the opposition, the control energies, have controlled us for so long. And so they're very powerful, but they don't really actually, it's about the past and the future. And when you really go into the moment, you realize that fear is an illusion. There isn't really anything to fear. especially if you're here at one with Mother Earth and the cosmos and your higher self. And, you kind of have the sense you're on a journey, and here you are on Earth right now. But everything's going to be okay. Nothing ever really dies. And, we've got a powerful consciousness. We're coming into the awareness. This 2020 astrology is about coming into the awareness of our own personal power, the power of collective consciousness to create the world we want, instead of being slaves to the world they want. And the lower energies, the control energies that have kept us, from our spiritual evolution for far too long. It's kind of time to get on with it now. And so just go ahead and feel that peace that's available, just like reaching through and beyond and around that fear programming. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's there, but just going deeper and deeper into the earth, and just feel yourself release and relax. Just take a few deep breaths and imagine yourself in one of your favorite places in nature. Like what is this place that you love to go visit, where you feel that you're connecting with Mother Earth or connecting with life force of the earth, and you can really feel her love and her connection in the beauty of this world that we live in. And I'd like you to just imagine, and you don't have a certain place, just imagine a beautiful place in nature right now that would be so rejuvenating. I'm seeing a waterfall, and maybe this is that Neptune coming in opposition of the sun and the moon, in this waterfall energy washing over. Can we allow this new moon to be a spiritual renewal and a life force renewal, and a deep resting point, so that we can be ready for the next chapter, and just feel yourself receiving these negative ions, these rejuvenating forces of the water moving. Moving water is one of the other things that's really helpful for your etheric body and your emotional body, because it's just like moving things along and reminding us that we don't need to stay stuck in any one certain feeling, because it'll move on and another one will come, right? It's not actually who we are, it's what we're experiencing. But it's not really the truth of who we are right now in this now moment. And just go ahead and feel yourself. I'm seeing a picture of like a Buddha, Buddha meditating and under his tree, and we're here at the waterfall. And this now moment is connecting into these beautiful rocks below. And the earth is just feeling warm and held by the earth, and also connected up above through the crown chakra to your higher self and to the cosmos. This Neptune opposition for this new moon is extracting out our spiritual self. We're having an identity crisis because we don't know who we are. We forgot that we're spiritual beings having an earth experience. And so go ahead and just imagine there's like a beam of light through your whole body, and it goes up into the cosmos and connects right to your higher self, and it goes down and it connects into the earth as well. And just imagine you can breathe into this tube, this beam of light, and you can breathe and expand this light as you breathe. And you can breathe in the earth energy from below and the cosmic energy from above, and these can move and swirl and vortex in the area of the heart. And this makes that light, the beam of light, go all the way out around your body. And now you're in a whole ball of light. And just go ahead and be here in this ball of light. This is you. This is the energy, the life force that you have access to. The energy that we find in nature, the life force of this planet, is also within us. So we can literally walk around in this rejuvenated field, constantly rejuvenating itself, if we can remember and come back to this place of presence. So just taking a few deep breaths, feeling yourself in this total connection with cosmos and with earth. Your energetic field is being refueled. I see this kind of like golden light, like sunlight, moving through your field. And go ahead and just imagine that you can breathe in this light and regenerate your electromagnetic and your life force, your electromagnetic field and your life force. And just feel yourself kind of like, when your phone is dead and you have to plug it back into the wall. This is what we're doing right now. You're plugging back in. And just let yourself get filled up with energy and life force and power that you can use in your life as you move forward through these potent days of transition and transformation. And just enjoy this rejuvenating time of connection. And we're so used to doing so much. And if we're not doing so much, we're not probably doing our job. We're not probably doing our destiny. And sometimes what we really need to do is nothing. And so it says, well, what, you get to this place of meditation, then it's like, well, what do I need to do? It's like, well, how about you let the cosmos do it? How about you let your own spiritual higher guidance do it? How about you just plug in to the wall and allow yourself to be refueled? Plug into the cosmos, plug into your higher self, plug into the earth. And just rest and receive and breathe. Go ahead and just stay here in this rejuvenative bubble of light that is yours to come back to whenever you can. Hook back in, got that grounded circuit with Mother Earth and the connection to the cosmos and all swirling around and creating you're like a light bulb and you're refueling your light bulb so you can continue to just move through life as the light that you are. Just remember that this space is here for you. And just stay here as long as you would like. Just enjoy this ball of light. And when you're ready, go ahead and come out of meditation. Well, thank you so much for joining me for day 6 of 21 days of presence. And I hope that you have a fully activated and energetic day, remembering and hooking into the life force that's available to us when we can stop and receive and be a part of it. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and hopefully you can join me on that new moon activation for this powerful rebirth into the next chapter. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.